Just remembered to turn on that button. So it's another exquisite day here in Portland, Oregon. I stumbled upon some people. I was eating at a food cart last night, and I met some people who were visiting. And I heard they asked me how long I lived here, and I said, since 1979, and I remember when it rained in Portland. Because it used to, a lot. Quite interesting. Well, I had such a nice time with Lao Tzu yesterday, I decided that I'd share my favorite Lao Tzu. I often read this on retreats, day 2 or so. This is 44, number 44 from the Hua Hu Ching. And I will put it on my blog today. robertbeatty.com. Blog will take you to it. So listening gently with the heart. Not trying to understand with the intellect, but just letting these words flow over us. This is the nature of the unenlightened mind. The sense organs, which are limited in scope and ability, randomly gather information. This partial information is arranged into judgments, which are based on previous judgments, which are usually based on someone else's foolish ideas. These false concepts and ideas are then stored in a highly selective memory system. Distortion upon distortion, the mental energy flows constantly through contorted and inappropriate channels. And the more one uses the mind, the more confused one becomes. To eliminate this vexation of the mind, it doesn't help to do something. This only reinforces the mind's mechanics. Dissolving the mind is instead a matter of not doing. Simply avoid becoming attached to what you see and think. Relinquish the notion that you are separated from the all-knowing mind of the universe. Then you can recover your original pure insight and see through all illusions. Knowing nothing, you will be aware of everything. Remember, because clarity and enlightenment are within your own nature, they are regained without ever moving an inch. Now, is that not fine? This is the nature of the unawakened mind. The sense organs, which are limited in scope and ability, randomly gather information, and this partial information is arranged into judgments, which are based on previous judgments, which are usually based on someone else's foolish ideas. These false concepts and ideas are then stored in a highly selective memory system. Distortion upon distortion, the mental energy flows constantly through contorted and inappropriate channels, and the more one uses the mind, the more confused one becomes. To eliminate this vexation of the mind, it doesn't help to do something. This only reinforces the mind's mechanics. Dissolving the mind is instead a matter of not doing. Simply avoid becoming attached to what you see and think. Relinquish the notion that you are separated from the all-knowing mind of the universe. Then you can recover your original state of pure insight and see through all illusions. Knowing nothing, you will be aware of everything. Remember, because clarity and awakening are within your own nature, they are regained without ever moving an inch. Just realized I could very easily put that on the listserv. I'm going to do it right now. Connections. connections there. There. If you're on the connections listserv with PIMC, it will be in your inbox. And noticing how sounds appear magically in consciousness. They appear and then they disappear. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya. Life sits here aware of itself. We come with a beautiful intention. The intention to wake up, to become more loving and kind and generous, to find our way free of suffering, at least to diminish our suffering. And so we cultivate mindfulness. Such a mysterious thing. We could bring awareness into the contact of the body with the chair or the floor, the pressure. And know this aliveness. Or into the hands. Bringing awareness into the middle finger of your right hand. Bringing awareness into the left cheek and the lips, and the nose, alive. Into the entirety of the face. It doesn't take work to do this. It takes more relaxation and simple presence. It takes not doing. Receiving the life of the entire lower part of the body, from the toes to the ankles and the shins and calves and knees and thighs. All the life of the pelvis. And the torso. From the pubic bone to the solar plexus, to the heart, to the chest. From the sacrum, through the spine, all the way to the skull and the neck, including the back and the ribs. Receiving the fingers and the thumbs, the palm side of the hand and the back side, the wrists, the forearms, the elbows. It's all alive. The upper arm, the shoulders, the neck, the jaw and the cheeks, the eyes and the forehead, the lips, the tongue, the ears, and perhaps softening awareness to include the entirety of the body. And within this entirety, there is the breathing that continues. In this way, we can ground in the present moment, in the body, not as some idea, but as a direct experience. Each breath arises out of nowhere. Each breath then continues to rise all the way to fullness. From fullness, it declines, diminishes, and vanishes. Mindfulness knows, illuminates what's happening. It illuminates thoughts. It illuminates the 5 hindrances. What is really happening now? It's a remarkable thing, isn't it? How mindfulness has a capacity of remembering as well. Remembering to be present. Remembering to wake up in the middle of an attack of wanting, of craving, an attack of disliking or rejecting, aversion. of restlessness, agitation, worry, unsettledness, or sloth and torpor. Mindfulness remembers and wakes up. Oh, right, this is doubt. Or this is awakening from fear or jealousy or confusion. This is awakening from some story. I like this, I don't like that. This is a problem. Awakening to this right now, exactly as it is. And like the bass line, the metronome underneath it all, there is breathing in and breathing out.
Mindfulness can also skillfully be aware of itself. So when there is awareness, acknowledge it. This is awareness. This is being present. And we can notice the natural oscillation, the natural back and forthness of being lost in the dream and being awake. Embracing, breathing in and breathing out. Embracing and acknowledging the wandering mind in its many forms.
Let us prepare for taking our practice into life today. In just a few moments, we will end our formal meditation period and have a little while together to share, and then head off into our activities. Let's remember the remarkable, indescribable preciousness of this moment and day. There are a finite number of days in a lifetime. Everything that is born dies. Every person throughout all time, our proto-human forebears, our Neanderthal forebears, the powerful, the weak, everyone and everything that takes birth dies and disappears. At this very moment, we carry the spark of life. We are the leading edge, the cambium layer of life waking up. Life is utterly unstable. There's truly no telling what will happen today. We make our plans and set a direction, and there's no telling what will happen. And so we can form an intention to live life awake and curious, with a sense of humor. And we can put down the backpack of thinking we have to or can control it. So right now, there's this body sitting here, breathing, living. Please let us bring awareness into the legs and buttocks, into the hands and arms, the chest, the neck and face, into the eyes, and notice as the gong rings twice, when the moment comes to intend for the eyes to open, and then allow them to open. Being aware of seeing, the mystery of seeing. May all beings everywhere share in the merit of our practice. Let us be aware of seeing and basking in the fact of each other. I have a text that came in this morning from Candle Summers. Good morning, Robert. Could you please mention the Saturday, August 5th day long, which she's teaching? We'll be looking at the 10 beautiful qualities of mind, the perfections of character. Once developed, they're dependable and lasting, carrying one over and beyond the vicissitudes of daily living. It's the householder's way to freedom. The 10 perfections: generosity, virtue, renunciation, discernment, effort, patience, truth, resolve, loving kindness, and equanimity. Is that not a fine list? Giving, virtue, renunciation, discernment, effort, patience, truth, resolve, loving kindness, and equanimity. We will also talk about patience. So that's Saturday coming up soon, the first Saturday of the month. That's on the website. I highly recommend A Day with Candle Summers. It's actually 9 to 2, I think, as is our strategy these days. Jim, you want to speak of Qigong and the potential of a picnic? Is it a picnic? Is it a gathering?
It's being thought about as a potluck. Everybody responsible for bringing something for themselves. So we can just find a group of picnic tables and spread out over a whole area. That's on the 14th. And Candles Retreat is on the 7th, not the 5th. But anyway. And tomorrow, I'm going to be online with, I'll probably be online from 9 to 1 tomorrow with the Qigong retreat. So busy 3 weeks for me. And starting tomorrow. But join me if you want to. And we'll have plenty of time still and quiet. Some movement and some poetry and a nice respite from the craziness out there. Thank you.
I want to make one selfish comment, very selfish. What are all those people doing in their cars on my roads? The traffic is back. Good grief. So that's low-level suffering. So let's see, is there anything anyone would you like to share? Have you a question or a success? What's happening? I just had a thought. Would you raise your hand physically if you'd be interested in a weekend stay-at-home retreat, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday? So maybe a third of people. Okay. How about a 5-day retreat, Monday through Friday? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well, that's interesting.
Robert?
I
Hi,
hear a
it's
voice.
Eileen.
Hello,
It's
Eileen.
What do you mean by stay at home? Do you mean virtual?
Yeah,
Or do you mean in person? Oh, okay.
virtual.
Thank you.
And then what month are you thinking?
I wasn't, but that sounds enthusiastic.
Yes, easier to do in the colder months.
Yeah. Well, now that it's established as a way to go, I think I certainly will do something like that. Maybe in January.
I'm still looking for a weekend about death.
Oh, shoot. There's a one day that I've been threatening to do. Why haven't I done it? Thank you, Sandra. Maybe I'll get that on the calendar for fall. Would you settle for a day?
Sure, better than nothing.
Don't
I'm not working from September to from Labor Day to Thanksgiving, so I have plenty of time to do something like that.
Wow. Death. Our close friend, intimate friend.
Good morning, Robert. It's Joe.
Hello, Joe.
I'm totally interested in any and all retreats, but I have to get away from home, or there's just too much to do. If I'm at home, there's all the plates that I got to juggle.
Right. Well, there's one thing to do. I'm doing a 5-day retreat with Matt Flickstein. He's on the East Coast. I'll be here, and I'm going to go away for the 5 days and be elsewhere, because it is true that to be home is, geez, to walk from here to the house, I see 6 things that need to be done.
Exactly. And 3 of them have been meaning to be done for a period of time.
Yes, and one of them my wife has been asking for.
Just one?
Well, I'm just being calm about it here.
Thank you for that help. I need to remember to be calm about it. Once again, Robert moves to the directional top of my list. Do it this way.
Yeah. It is very interesting how there are things on Jennifer's list that are very important that somehow don't register.
You know?
Yeah.
I will try to endeavor to keep my mind and habits open to doing a retreat while I'm at home.
Yeah.
That's just a way to spread my wings and see the world in a different way and
It's
live
true.
my life in a different way.
Yep. Every day is the retreat, actually. Please let's remember that when we are sitting like this, it's a perfect opportunity for practice. Speaking of the home retreat, we can sit. I'm sitting here and I'm aware of breathing. I notice the mind wandering off and then come back and then checking in with faces and remembering the practice of compassion. On my retreats, I commonly, once every second day or so, I pass the talking stick. Each person gets 2 or 3 minutes to share what's happening, and that's what I see this as, or feel this as, and envision this practice here as. And it's the practice of speaking and listening. So it really isn't empty time. It's not just what'll somebody say. It's what's it like to sit here in this being and be awake, and then notice a sound comes, and then meaning comes, and then a reaction comes, and then an association comes.
Good morning, Robert and Sangha.
It's Karen. Hi, Karen.
Hi. I had a small victory yesterday. I'm in Fort Collins. Some of you might remember that, but I was really brave, in my opinion. I went to Rocky Mountain National Park, and that involved getting in this BMW that I'm.
Yay! You did it!
It was
Hooray!
big.
Congratulations!
It was a big deal. And then, because of the parks being so crowded, you have to make a reservation. So I did that. And then I started checking webcams, and traffic looked really bad. And there was just so much of, I had a lot of voices just kind of trying to talk myself out of it, because on the one hand, I'm all about having kind of stressless time, but on the other hand, I want to be brave every day, So anyhow, I went, and I just thought, I'm just going to maybe I won't make it all the way. I'm just going to go on a drive, that kind of thing. But anyhow, as it turned out, I got into the park. It worked out. I went to the first pull off I did. It was like a wetlands, and I was out maybe 5 minutes and got bit by 4 mosquitoes just immediately. And I'm allergic to mosquitoes, so that's like a bad thing. But I thought, this is keeping me really in the present moment, because my legs really itched. But it was, it was just a good experience. And then I went to, I had to make a U-turn because I was talking to this person that said, if you go up there, you get up to 12,000 feet. And I just thought, I don't know if I want to go up that high, because I was afraid maybe I might get altitude, sickness. And, I just got a lot of fear in my head. I realized as I, spend time all by myself that I've got anxiety about just things. So I'm just kind of welcoming it, that poem about the welcome mat, and just kind of being a little bit curious about it. Anyhow, I did this U-turn, and I knew it was going to be kind of tight, and it's the new car, and everything. But anyhow, I got halfway around, and I couldn't find reverse. It just was a split second, but it was kind of nerve-wracking because there were cars coming. And thankfully, the person just stopped, and I got around, and I was just really grateful for that, because somebody could have just laid on the horn, but, there was grace. And then I was just surrounded by this beauty, and I went on this hike. I didn't go for too long, but it was just bursting with wildflowers, and I was just so happy, and I was proud of myself, and I was just in awe of the beauty, and it was just really wonderful. So I wanted to share that little victory.
Well, congratulations. Did you take the BMW up over 100 or keep it down slow?
No, I was being really good. And when I parked it, I made sure I was like really in a good spot. I wanted to be, but it was very nice. And so.
Well, congratulations. That's a wonderful boundary stretcher.
Thanks.
How much longer are you there?
I fly home on Wednesday, so it's actually going pretty fast.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll just share one more thing. Very interesting. I don't want to go too long, but a couple days ago I was biking. There's trails all over the place. And before I knew it, there wasn't really anybody on the trail. There was a rattlesnake, a big rattlesnake about this long. And my bike tire was about this close to its head. But I didn't even see the snake until I was right up to it. And you know. I was just like, oh my God, because it could have like, you know, but anyhow, so then of course, you know what happens. Then all of a sudden I'm on rattlesnake watch. The whole, yeah, you know, the whole time I was just looking for more rattlesnakes. And yesterday on my way up to the national park, I thought, well, I'll just go to this one hike. It's called Devil's Backbone. And because I just was going to give myself permission to just not even go up to the park if I didn't want to. Well, it was about 90 degrees. It was so hot. But I was on this little trail. And as soon as I got there was a big sign that said, you know, rattlesnake country, you know, watch out for rattlesnakes. And so anyhow, I was going up on this really hot hike. I didn't go for very long. And I was so looking for rattlesnakes. The two people that went by going the other way, I asked them both, have you seen any rattlesnakes, you know? But, and they said no. So the whole time I was just kind of being aware of my fear and how interesting it was that just because I've seen that one rattlesnake a couple of days ago, that now my consciousness is just aware of it, you know, and it was just an interesting observation because it's kind of like life, you know. So end of story.
Thank you. I'm glad you met a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
brought a lot of awareness, didn't it?
Yeah, it woke me up.
Yeah. You know, Jennifer and I are renting an RV in late August, and we're going to rattlesnake country in the eastern Oregon. And actually, 3 weeks ago, I drove the dogs up to the Dalles, and we went to a walk-in clinic there, and we got them rattlesnake. I got them rattlesnake vaccinations. I'm going again on Monday. That no one in Portland offers that vaccine. You have to be in rattlesnake country to get it. So I'm driving them up again next Monday to the Dalles and back in order to have them protected while we're on the trip. Apparently, if they do get bitten by a rattlesnake, we would still have to drive to the nearest veterinarian, which would be a long ways, but they probably wouldn't die if they've had that vaccine. So they're real. Rattlesnakes are real. I've seen a few in my life. They make a rather scary sound, I think. Thank you, Karen. Well, anything else anyone would like to share before we go? I have a little piece of show and tell I'd like to do, which is that this handsome young man is my stepson, Adrian. I get to live with him. He's applying for college, and this was the picture he chose for his Common App. I just want to show him off a little bit. It's so remarkable what happens to the over the course of 17 years. They turned from nothing into this, but this puberty, it's so stunning. It's like watching a peony open in the spring. You know, nothing much happens, and then all of a sudden they go. Well, that's how he is. Adrian is his name. Adrien. Well, shall we head off into our journey of the day? See what surprises come today. We had a false alarm on the building yesterday. It seemed as though the permit had been issued, but it hadn't. So I'll let you know when it does. Well, let's go out on Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. May all beings receive all blessings. So please unmute if you feel like it. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Goodbye, friends. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Robert.
Bye, all.
Thanks
Bye.
for coming.
Robert.
Thanks for coming to the party.
Bye, Denise. Have fun in Brighton.
Oh, I'm going to. Yeah.
Are you going to
I
Brighton
haven't
Bush?
been there since the. Yeah, we're going for the weekend.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Enjoy.
there like the week before it burnt down
Uh-huh.
last year. So,
Well, be prepared. It's quite a
Yeah.
different place, apparently.
yeah, I'll take some pictures.
Oh, that'd be great. Thanks. All right, all. Goodbye.
Bye, all.
Goodbye, Sherry.
Live long and prosper.
Yep. Bye-bye, Had. Goodbye, dear friends on Facebook. If I can find you again. There you are. Looks as though this worked today.